What's up, Walking Dead friends and family? It's Brian Castrillo back with another review. This is for episode 14 of Fear the Walking Dead, Divine Providence. Now, when I watched this episode, I thought we were going to get to see a little bit more of Rabbi Jacob, but not as much as I thought. I mean, we did see him, so it was cool to see him back. We got to see a lot of characters we haven't seen for a bit, but the stars were definitely Alicia Clark, Wes, and Victor Strand, and of course, my favorite character, Daniel Salazar. Excellent episode. I really enjoyed this. This kind of brought the action and storytelling. Especially Daniel Salazar's character, it brought kind of him full circle. We got to see him kind of re-emerging as the Daniel Salazar that we remembered. But we started out with, we see Victor Strand, he's shaving. We got, opera areas in the background, and just kind of a cool way to start the episode. And, as he's doing this, he's getting an alert that Alicia's out there on the telephone. And of course, the whole gang's there, and they're ready for battle. And he invites Alicia in for a drink, and she accepts. And they go to have this drink, and Wes is, and watching Wes through this is kind of funny, because he's making faces. He's like, because he does not understand who Victor Strand is, and he's like, what are you doing? I mean, you're going through all this trouble to get what you want, but then you're doing these stupid things. And kind of like he's saying, like, you're taking your eye off the ball, the eye off the prize, if you will. And he doesn't really trust Victor Strand's, I guess, intuitions. And you see him getting upset with Victor throughout this whole episode. And he does notice, they start to do this drink. Of course, West is not really for it, but Victor notices the St. Christopher medal that Alicia's wearing. And this, of course, goes back to, back in the previous season when he was kind of telling Alicia, I need to he's pushing her away, and he's telling her, I need to find who I really am. And even if that kind of means, that you're not here. And he kind of pushes her away. And we're starting to see Victor Strand. That's when we started seeing, him as this villain. But honestly, if you go back to season 1, Victor was never really a good guy, if you will. He was a great character, but he was always doing stuff to kind of better himself. So this is really no different. But ultimately, Wes ends up turning on Victor because he does not trust what he's doing. And Victor, he's trying to bring Alicia in, but what he does is he locks the door, and he basically gives the order to, cut the phone. I don't want anybody alerting the people. And he has him turn on the light, the beacon, and all these radiated walkers are on their way. And he's basically saying that they were never part of the plan. It's all about you, Alicia. And he's completely fine with killing them. But when she comes in, also, Daniel Salazar comes in as well, and he fights his way in because he still believes that Ophelia's in there. And he wants to know where his daughter is. And Victor, of course, because Victor knows, and he's looking at him like, okay. And he orders him taken down to the basement. And so we got these walkers coming in, and then they're going into the elevator. But this is where Alicia comes in, and she's, fighting everybody. She grabs Victor and throws him in, basically gets the gun, attacks, Wes's people and Wes, and gets him trapped in this elevator, thinking she's going to go up there. But of course, on the outside, they cut the power to it. And this was all in the contingencies for Victor in case something happened. And so they're kind of stuck in there, and they're trying to get in. Eventually they do get in. But during this time, Alicia ends up falling. She she's getting the fever again, and she's sweating. But through this time, they kind of come to a pact that if you let them save her people, that she'll agree to stay with the tower with Victor, because this is what he says. He tells her that he's basically feels that she's the daughter that he's never. He looks at her as a daughter that he's never had. And when I seen that, I mean, granted, like, he's been with her a long time, but I just thought that was kind of an odd thing for him to say, to kind of call her that, because while I guess he can kind of see her as family, it just kind of was odd. But ultimately gets out. He tells Wes, and Wes is like, "No, I'm not having this." And that's when they kind of turn on him. And then Wes orders Daniel's death, but Wes does not really know Daniel. Like, he sees Daniel as this old man, but he does not know who Daniel is. And Daniel basically kills the guy that was taking the call, getting ready to kill him, with the cuffs, because he put him in the front. He just basically choked and sliced his throat. Daniel is no joke. I just love how badass he is. And so he takes him out. Eventually, Alicia and Wes come. Not Alicia. Alicia and Victor eventually, they come down. They see Daniel there, and Daniel's like, "Where's Ophelia?" And Victor chooses to lie to him again, says he's in the penthouse, and Daniel's like, "That's that's a good idea." He eventually decides not to kill Strang, because of course he had the gun on him, and we all know their history. But Alicia's trying to tell him, "Don't you remember Mexico? Don't you remember?" And he starts getting these flashbacks because she had told him that Victor was, helping him look around. And we're starting to get these flashbacks to season 3, where, Victor was with him in Mexico, of course, back at the dam during that time. But it's not clicking into that moment that Madison was the one who actually delivered Ophelia to him. But he opts to tell him that, he being Victor tells Daniel that Ophelia is in the penthouse. So he believes him. And this is just to kind of keep this ruse going, to keep Daniel on his toes, because Daniel thinks that he's eventually going to see his daughter. But they get to this area because they need to save Alicia, because she's basically dying. She's got this fever, and we better not be getting Ophelia on this, because if you remember, Madison was trying to get Ophelia to Daniel, to her father, because she was going to die. She did die basically the minute right before Daniel got there. But Ophelia wanted a chance to get to know her father. She wanted to know that, who he was, and just start that relationship. And Daniel never got that opportunity. He wanted to tell her, who he was. This is something that he hid from her this whole time. But while Daniel or Victor's trying to help Alicia in giving her, the medication to help, cool her down and kind of keep her going, you got Daniel Salazar being the mercenary that he is. He's taking out everybody. But in this meantime, Daniel picks up this chart, and it's like all the people who has ever been there, who was in the tower, because of course Victor keeps track of this stuff. And then Victor comes clean and says, Ophelia's, not here. This is your daughter. And he points to Charlie, who's there, and you see her sick. And I was just so sad to see, Charlie like that. But this, of course, is who, Charlie kind of took under his wing, like, his own. And I feel like when the reason why he's forgetting this, because he's suppressing the fact that he never got a chance to make things right with Ophelia. And here's an opportunity to kind of make things right with Charlie. And one of the things that Alicia says, she's sitting there lying, like she's lying on the bed dying. And she says, be the man Ophelia wanted to see, because Ophelia wanted to see, you know, who he was. She wanted her father. And that's when Daniel decides to, you know, stay there and protect Charlie, be by her side. And it was kind of a beautiful scene. And then, you know, Victor and Alicia decide to go. They're getting all these tear gas things. They're grabbing the guns, and they're going up to take on Wes and his people, because he is somehow got the Rangers to take his side. And I love Wes. I thought he was a great character. But, you know, they're taking Victor decides to do this on his own. He throws the tear gas, and he's taking out different Rangers to get to Wes, and they eventually get trapped in this room, and they're getting shot at. They come into this room, and Wes and his people are basically saying, and Wes is kind of begging Strand. He's like, you know, finish what you started. Be who you said you were going to be. You know, I want you to, you know, fulfill this. And it's like he didn't want Victor to, you know, to befriend Alicia. Of course, he doesn't know their history, and he wants him to follow through with what he said he was going to do. It's like he still wants to follow Victor, but he's willing to kill him if he has to. But then at the last second, here comes Daniel Salazar, busts through the door, shoots two of the Rangers with him, and of course Wes turns around and shoots him in the chest. I was like, oh my God, we cannot lose Daniel like this. And of course he must have left Charlie down there. And meanwhile, you know, you start to see these walkers in the background. And you know, all the radiated ones. We got our people there, and Alicia's trying to talk to Wes and says, remember, you know, both of us saved you. We can be, basically trying to tell him we could be a family. And then here comes Victor with his sword, like a you know, a knight in shining armor, full of dramatics, just like Victor. Stabs him right in the chest, and Wes goes down. And I was like, oh my God, I wanted to see more of Wes. I thought we were going to get to see more of him. I loved how he was developing, but no, Wes is gone. And then Alicia is saying, you know, we can still get to the tower, up to the top, get the beacon, and you know, shut this off just in time for the, you know, to stop the walkers, or at least help them out a little bit. And of course, back on the Daniel thing, we're seeing all these flashbacks, and then finally he comes to the realization that Ophelia is gone. And I think it was that moment with Charlie. But they get up to, you know, the top of the tower, and then we go back down to our people, our family down on the, you know, the outside, and Wendell's comes out. You got June. We see Rabbi again, which I thought we would get more of him, but they all come outside, and they basically tell him that Victor and Alicia are going to go up, you know, up to the tower. At least that's what they said. But then we get up to, you know, the tower, and Alicia's getting ready to he goes over to the, you know, to shut the power off. But right before that, a couple of the Rangers are up there, and they're shooting down at our people while the walkers are getting closer. That's when Victor and Alicia went up there, took them out, and shot them in the back of the head. He goes to shut the power off, but then he has like a second coming, and this almost felt like, and I'm again going back to Star Wars, this almost felt like that moment on when Obi-Wan was, you know, going against Anakin on and that major right before he becomes Darth Vader. He, you know, of course he gets burned, and you hear Victor saying screaming how you're never gonna love me, and which I'm like, what is going on, Victor? Are you in love with Alicia, or do you actually see her as a daughter that you saw before? Or at least that's what you said. But he's saying how he didn't feel that she was ever gonna love him, and he's just they go into this fight. She stabs one of the the gasoline tanks, and gasoline is spilling out, and they're fighting. Excellent fight. The choreograph was fantastic in this, but eventually, they knock him out, or they knock each other out. But she ends up climbing up on the top of this scaffolding, and because this was right after the tower, I guess the radio tower fell on it, broke the the light for the beacon, and she's going up there, and this is, of course, all of her people are coming back in the building, and she gets up there and she gives out the coordinates and saying, this, Padre is not real. Come here. We are Padre. We can build this. And he gives the exact coordinates, but then all of a sudden everything's catching on fire, and Alicia, faints in there. But when you see the previews for next season, we know that she gets out. And which I kind of wish they would stop doing that, because I would have loved this as a cliffhanger. And AMC Plus, don't get me started on that, because it basically gives the opportunity for spoilers to get out there. But I would have loved this if I didn't know all this stuff coming. I didn't see these, previews for that, because that moment would be an amazing cliffhanger. She's up there, the building's catching on fire. Victor is just, looking up, because he's kind of torn, because everything that he built is, coming crashing to the ground. Is he going to save her? What's going on? But then they show the trailers for the next episode, which is Amina, which we all know Madison's coming. I cannot wait. I'm wicked excited for that. But yeah, what did you think of this episode? I actually really liked it. I thought this kind of put together the story, finished Daniel Salazar coming back to who he was. Of course, don't forget, he's shot in the shoulder. I thought he was shot in the heart, but he's okay. As he was coming in the building, June says, "Let me patch it up." And he said, "No, get to Charlie. I'm going to be all right." So I think Daniel's going to be fine. I'm not. I feel like something's going to happen where Charlie may end up being okay, but I'm not sure. Maybe this connection with Madison is going to fix this. But I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. Of course, Morgan is with Baby Mo, but what did you guys think? Did you like the action? Did you like the storytelling? I thought it was really good. This is actually one of my favorite episodes now. And I really enjoyed this. This is a setup coming to Madison. How she's going to be, in Amina. And of course, we'll get into that into the next, but that goes to the bird that Nick and Alicia nurse to health. That's the call of next episode, or the title of next episode. But yeah, I wish they didn't do that, because this was an amazing... I love the way this ended, but I hate how they give previews for that. And then we know she's going to be in the next episode. But if they didn't do that, the cliffhanger, it kills the moment of the cliffhanger. And I'm not a fan of that, but I really did enjoy this episode. I loved how everything kind of came to fruition. I hate that we lost Wes. I really liked him. Great character. But anyways, what did you guys think? What are you hoping to see in Amina? If you guys did see the next episode, please don't spoil that for others. But based on this episode, what did you guys think? Are you excited for next episode? Are you ready for Madison? I know I am. I've been waiting for this for so long. But yeah, for the MVP, this was really tough, because it could have went to Wes, it could have went to Alicia, could have went to Daniel Salazar, but no, this is going to Victor Strand, portrayed by Coleman Domingo. I loved how he was kind of all over the place, but this was Victor Strand at his best. I really enjoyed it. Now my shout out is going to my good friend Keen. He is from Columbus, a new hip hop artist. He's got a new song out, Brain Pick, and I want you to check this out. It's Brain Pick / Seatbelts. Check it out. It's playing next. I want you to check this out. All his links are in this episode as always. Please check him out. Go to his YouTube page. Show him some love. Check out his music. I promise you're gonna love this. If you're a fan of hip hop, check this man out. This song, check it. We'll hear it. Let's not wait anymore. Check it out. Here we go. Boom. Love you guys. Yeah.
doing everything in my power to get my mind back. Young and working and introverted, can you define that? Shady, lots of name calling, but I don't mind that. Giving my energy to my people that's having my back. I feel the light been shining right on me, I'm trying to shine back. I'm sorry to the ones who had text and I ain't replied back. I've been drifting off from the mission, I'm about to glide back. I guess it's normal, cause down the road you bound to get sidetracked. My vision tunnel, dipping puddles, feeling the rain. No umbrellas, can't you tell I'm feeling the pain? Finding peace, ain't no rush, I've been feeling drained. Not a lot of sleep, that's the cost of trying to get paid. Sacrifices suck, that's what happened when letting fear go. Open up, can't let everything pass your earlobes. Pressure coming, how you react to it, show you real soul. Keep it at 100, they still a W, it's real cold. Yeah, keep it at 100, they still look. My mind been feeling low, so I guess that it's time to lift that. It's a long road, so you might as well go and sit back. Seatbelts, demons be walking, you better be strapped. Not the one for violence, surviving is like a knee trap. They trying to steal your fire, you better not hold your heat back. Let them know, mind, body, and soul, they can't delete that. Perfect timing, I've been grinding, chasing elite stats. I've been giving love for the free, I don't need receipts back. Receiving food for thought, cause on everything, gotta eat that. Showing attention to fear, no my nigga, I can't treat that. Saying yes is something we need, it's something that we lack. Discipline is key, most of them gon' disagree. So by this time, most gon' already be on the next song. One day they gon' take initiative to listen to me, like, yeah. Was gone for a minute, now I'm 10 toes up. Was cold outside, so the wheels froze up. Breaking through the ice, so the bridge get built. You ain't being 100, how you build your trust? Did a few wrongs and he still chose us. Hands to the sky when I pray to the Lord. Gotta pray for the boys. Vibe heavy, open up gates with the orb. Times of road demons getting slayed with the sword. Every day I flip another page of the book. Get up on stage, feel amazed, even shook. Palm steady, nigga, I was made for the greatness. Just took a couple phases to raise through the crooks. Niggas always hate when you good, at least it seem like it. And get no hate, I just tend to be biased. Allergic to the fake, nigga, I can't even try it. Love free but hate cost, shit, I even seen them buy it. Sorry for the absence, the vibe was out of reach and I was really trying to grasp it. Shit, I was trying to speak but ain't nothing really happened. Was chilling in the cabin, feeling dumb bored. Get outside, was feeling down but I was up for it. Dog hit me on the celly trying to scoop some. Getting drunk for the night, was trying to skip forward. Next morning, headache and taking shit for it. The road so long, but the wheels can't lock. Shit to make ends meet, you gotta live for it. Tryna wake a nigga up, niggas been snoring. Pay attention to the signs, you can't ignore it. And life too short, swear time move fast, but the world so big, we gotta explore it. Get outside, enjoy the vibes when shit get boring, and let's get more.